So I've had a few conversations lately surrounding the law of attraction, the concept of manifesting your own reality. The idea is that like attracts like, that you are creating your own reality, that you believe it is, and so it is, that whether you think that you can or think you cannot, you are absolutely correct. This is the concept. And basically, it comes down to if a person is weighed down and frustrated and just believes that life sucks, then life is going to suck and be frustrating. But if a person believes that life is amazing and wonderful, that life is just amazing and wonderful, and great things keep happening to that person because they believe that everything is great. Like, this is the concept. The idea really pisses a lot of people off. And it pisses them off because they don't fully understand it, or just the idea that you are telling them that their choices have created their reality and that's why they're having to suffer through life so much really does not sit well with them at all. It really bothers them to think that they are responsible for their own hardships and pain and frustration. Other people dismiss it as nothing more than just a flight of fancy, and that it's somebody coming up with a concept to prey on unsuspecting people and get people to buy into some ridiculous voodoo thing. I've spoken before about how I honestly believe that we are all saying the same things, and yet we are using different vocabulary to say the same things. A Roman philosopher once said that luck is nothing more than when preparation meets opportunity. I believe that that statement is no different than like attracts like, or whether you believe you can or believe you cannot, you are right. I think that they all come back to the exact same thing about your intention, your preparation. So my husband and I believe wholeheartedly in this concept because we have witnessed it come to fruition multiple times throughout our lives and our marriage. We put it out there and we say this is what we want, and oftentimes it comes. There is a catch to this. There is a big catch to this. So if you want to change, if you want something to shift, if you want something different, you have to be clear about what it is that you want. You can't just say, okay, I've decided I want life to be better. Because your description, your decision, your expectation of what a better life is going to be completely different than your neighbor's belief of a better life, or a little kid's belief of a better life, or an old, someone who is more retired and mature. No one has the same understanding of what a better life is. So when you say to the universe, I want a better life, then the universe might send you all these little things, and the universe thinks that that's a better life. You may not notice those little gifts and tricks because that's not what you've been looking for. The universe cannot send that to you unless you describe exactly what it is that you're looking for. I was spending a little time with a friend, and she was really lamenting her lack of good fortune in the relationship department. And she was just really going off on how she wanted a relationship, but she didn't want this and she didn't want that and she just gave me this huge list of all these things that she did not want or did not appreciate in her past relationships. And she was very focused on what she did not want. So in this concept, if she's very focused on what she did not want, what do you think the universe kept sending her? Things that she did not want. So I stopped her and I said, okay, so if you don't want those things, what do you want? And she started to make a list. It took her a minute. I mean, she wasn't quite ready for that question. But eventually she got into it and she started writing and had this big long list of, I want Da, 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 da. I want this. I want that. I want this kind of a relationship. I want to do these kinds of things together. And I encouraged her to really feel out what that relationship would look and feel and be like in every aspect of it. And then I asked her how her closet was. And she was confused with this question. And my whole idea with that is, if you are looking for a relationship and yet there is no room in your closet for that new partner to put their clothes, is there space in your life for a new relationship? If you want a new relationship and you are sleeping in the middle of the bed, where is that new partner going to sleep? If you want a new partnership and your life is so full to the gills in time that you do not have time for a partnership, how is that partnership going to come into your life? How is it going to exist? So we had this long conversation and she was like, I'm going to think about that. Not long later, I get this message from her and she said, I cleaned out my closet. I started sleeping on one side of the bed. I made more time in my life, cut my hours back at work a little bit so that I knew that I would have time for this new partner. And you will not believe what just happened. I met this amazing person and I am so excited to see where things go. The universe likes to fill in where there's a hole. And if you create this hole with the best intention of saying, this is what I'm looking for, that's what's going to come in. You're going to have that gift, but it's because you're focused on it. I don't want to make it sound like you're just going to get this because you get this. There is still work that has to go into it. It's that you have now said, that is where I'm focused. That is where my energy is going to go. And that is what I want. You are now creating something new. You are now intentionally living in a way that would invite that gift in. Say it's a new job and you really want to have a job that you love, that inspires you, that you are excited to go to every single day, that you are really just thrilled to have this job. You want a change. First off, you need to define, what does that job look like? What are you doing? Are you a boss or is someone else the boss? What are your coworkers like? How does this look for you? Is it a long commute or are you one that works from home? Are you traveling or is it more of a localized job? What is it that you are looking for? In every way, shape, and form. Define it. This is the job that I am looking for. And then live like you expect that to come. It's, I'm putting my resumes out there for the jobs that I want with the businesses that I would be really happy with. You research the businesses and say, you know what, my ideals and what I'm excited about doing do not align with that company. Why would you apply for the perfect job with a company that you are not in alignment with? It's not going to work out. So you look for a job, you look for a company that works with you and your feelings and your emotions so that you're coming into alignment. You're choosing to make that work. Is there something that you need to offload so that you can accept this new position? Do you have additional drains and demands on your time that would not work with this new job? What needs to shift so that that can happen? What needs to change so that it can come into your life? What do you need to do? What steps can you take to make this easier to come to you? If you have the mindset it's never going to come, you are absolutely right. It's never going to come. You are not going to find it. It will not just magically come to you. It is never going to just magically fall into your lap. The law of attraction means you have to be in alignment with it. You have to choose that and you have to decide that this is absolutely where you're going. The minute you say, oh, I'm never going to have that, you have squashed it. You have said, I'm not worth it, or I don't get it, or it's not for me. This whole concept is, I know what I want. I am focused on what I want and what I can do to achieve that. What I can do to be worthy of accepting that. So if you want this job that is amazing, that job needs a certain kind of person. Are you that person? What do you need to do to be that person so that you can achieve that job and live that life that you are absolutely going to be head over heels in love with? What did she need to do for her relationship? What do you need to do? What little change or big change are you looking to make? And then I want you to think about it, and I want you to write it down. I want you to describe everything about it. When you have achieved this goal, when you have achieved this new shift, are you living in a city or are you living rurally? What does it smell like? What food are you eating? What does it taste like? Are you in a place that has like salty sea air and so you taste that? Are you in like the mountains and you're more pine? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And I'm talking on your skin. I'm talking emotionally. I am saying, what does it feel like? Mentally, emotionally, physically? What clothes are you wearing? For that perfect job, what clothes do you wear? Are you excited about dressing up? Or are you more of an outdoorsy person? What kind of clothing are you wearing for that new job? And what do those clothes feel like on you? Do they just make you happy and make you feel like, yeah, this is the life? What kind of house are you living in? In this perfect spot where you really want to be, that you want to attract it, define it. Is it a 1-bedroom? Is it a small apartment? Is it a tiny house? Is it a rambling, big house? Like, what is it that makes that would make this a reality, that you would feel that that's where you are and where you want to be? These are big changes. I'm talking about big shifts. I'm talking about buying into your own joy and your own hopes and your own path for the future, right? If you want something good, you are the only one that can get it for yourself. Nobody else is going to hand it to you. You have to start creating that. And the best way to do that is say, number one, I'm worth it. Number two, I am going to go for it and I'm going to do this. And how am I going to do this? What little steps can you take that will help you make these big shifts and changes? Write it down, make it a reality. And then as things start shifting, keep looking back and seeing where you came from. See the shifts that are already happening. See the little breadcrumbs along the way that are like, yeah, I was there and now I'm here. I am so on my right path. I am so on this journey. I am so excited for where it's going and what's going to happen. It's not always huge. Sometimes there are little things that we just want to shift and change. Sometimes it's very, very personal and internal. And it's, you know what? I just want to love myself a little bit more. How do you do that? Does that mean that you need some new clothes that feel more in alignment with who you are? Maybe a new pair of shoes helps you do that. Maybe it's a change in hairstyle. How can you love yourself a little bit more? Maybe it's playing around with self-care and saying, hey, I just think that I'm worth it and I want to love myself a little bit. So I'm going to try going for a walk, or I'm going to try a little bit of meditation, or I'm going to try what is it that would make you feel better personally, which then lets you love yourself even more because you are then taking care of yourself. Big shifts, little shifts. It all starts with an idea. It all starts with a decision. It all starts with you saying, yeah, I'm worth it. I get this. I'm going for it. And I'm excited for where it's going to be. Back to the idea of loving yourself and self-care. How do you feel when you achieve loving yourself unconditionally? What kind of clothes are you wearing when you've decided you love yourself unconditionally? What does your hair look like? What do your friendships and your relationships look like? Feel it. What kind of food are you eating? What kind of smells do you smell because you love yourself? You've decided that you are an amazing being that deserves your love and hopes and dreams. Little shifts, big shifts. Maybe write down the little changes as they come so that you can look back and really see them on your breadcrumbs. Look at the guideposts ahead of you and say, okay, what's my next step? Is this decision that I'm going to make right here, right now, going to help me on my path and make me closer to my goal and where I want to be, or is it going to pull me further away? Use guideposts, use future planning, and look back and see how far you've already come. Give yourself that little pat on the back and that acknowledgement that you are doing good. You are moving forward, and you are an amazing human being exactly where you are. And now you get to make your life even better.